So greetings from Pennsylvania once again. As you can tell by the title of the video, you'll be able to see back here as well, it's time for another episode of the Union Canal. We're following the Union Canal. Today is August 10th, Wednesday morning. Back here just west of Myerstown. Of course, I kind of teased this lock a little bit in the last video. This is lock number 7. In the last video we did locks number 9 and 8, those awesome locks in that section with the angry cows and all that. So here is just a quick glimpse of lock number 7. We'll look more at it in a bit here too. This is in Fairlane Park or Jackson Park. I forget if they're the same park or separate parks, but. So what is the plan for today's video? Well, obviously it will be to check out lock number 7 for starters. We'll maybe walk along through the park here a little bit. Then there's lock number 6, and then the Topahawkin Manor, where locks 5 and 4 were located. I think I talked a little about those in the last video, about hoping to get permission to get to those spots. Bad news on that part. I did not hear back from either one. But I think we might be able to get a glimpse of lock number 6 from the road. We'll see how that works. And then the Topahawkin Manor has some really cool history to it. It's where George Washington stayed when he came to visit the workings on the canal. But we'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. That dates back to the 1790s actually, but I sent them, they have a business there for you can have weddings there and stuff. I sent them an email, their business email, sent them a letter, didn't hear back from them, so I was kind of disappointed about that. I was hoping to get a look around that spot, but we should be able to park along the road and get a glimpse of the place. Just won't be able to look for the locks that may or may not be back there anymore, but it is what it is sometimes. But we can check out lock number 7 since it's here in a public park. There's been some restoration, you can see a little work redone to it there. And this was added at some point too, this little dam. That would not have been original. It's a cool little feature though for the park. Oh, and this one has the, remember, back in the last episode, when we were looking at lock number 9, we were looking at the little cuts in the stone, where the iron metal work was the bands that held the stone together, and look at this. This one still has it. It still has the actual iron bands holding the rocks together. There's another one up there. Quite a few of them are here. So that is pretty awesome, actually. You can see them there. Just to help give it some structural integrity. There's one that's missing. That's cool. Actually see them all there. Yeah, you can see a little bit more like those stones over there don't look original. Here once again you see all the indentations for the metal work. This is where the doors would have been. There's still some metal here. Here's where the doors would have swung in and out. That's what these indentations were for. There's metal work in here. Help hold the doors in place. Alright. There's looking back. It's pretty cool. Alright, so let's go for a little walk in the park. We'll follow the canal as it goes through here. Till we get to the point where I don't have permission anymore on private property. It's a nice day. Let's go. Let's go for a walk in the park. And here's looking back down towards lock number 7. Off in the distance up there. You gotta remember too, like we mentioned some of the previous videos, here the Topahawkin Creek is actually flowing through the old canal bed. So this is the actual canal right here. And looking off this way, continues on. Yeah, our friend the Topahawkin Creek is getting smaller and smaller. And actually, this is going to be the last video where we walk along the Topahawkin Creek, I believe. So that'll be kind of sad in a way. Topahawkin Creek has become our friend in this series, either following along it or walking in it for quite some time, actually. And now we're going to say goodbye to it. It looks so small along here too. But that's the way it is in these journeys. You meet friends along the way, and sometimes you have to say goodbye to them too. Alright. I'm going to take a little bit of time here to talk about the significance of the Topahawkin Manor, the place I talked about in the beginning of the video, where I was hoping to get permission to film out a little bit. But the history of this canal dates all the way back to about 1792. It wasn't called the Union Canal back then. I think it's called the Schuylkill and Susquehanna Canal, because there's the two rivers it was connecting. So work began on it in about 1792. Of course, the first attempt actually went bankrupt in about 1797. They never finished it. And then in 1800s it was picked up again and finally finished around in the late 1820s, about 1828 or so, it was finished. But in those early years, George Washington stopped by twice to check it out, to see the progress of it, see how they were doing. The first 4 locks they built were over on that property. Probably locks 3, 4, 5, and 6 actually were probably some of the first ones built, I'm guessing, roughly. So it's been cool to visit that area. Apparently he stayed up on the 3rd floor somewhere, I think. So they know which room he stayed in. It would have been cool to get a tour of the building too, but not gonna happen, at least not in this. Here our old canal continues via the Topahawkin Creek. Of course, this is where my permission ends. I forget what this road is right here. Let's hop across the guardrail here. Yeah, then you have, yeah, no trespassing signs over there. But here, the canal would continue on up through this way. Yes, actually, I just noticed something interesting here. We were just kind of looking up this way, but here's the bridge that the water goes under. And I looked down here, and there's a whole nother bridge down here. So here's, I just walked down from up there. Here's the canal, or the creek. You can see a nice little trail right there. We might take that trail back. But then, if you look over here, here's another creek, or canal, that comes across this way. It goes up that way. And here's where it goes. Over here. Yeah, so there are 2. Here's a bridge. And right there's a bridge. What's going on? Yeah, so one of these is the canal, and one of these is the actual Topahawkin Creek. That's interesting. I know up by lock number 7 where we were, they are one and the same. Because remember I talked about in the past how the Topahawkin Creek doesn't flow through its original course anymore, but it kind of followed the Union Canal. But here, you know, one of these is the creek and one is the canal. It's kind of interesting. So the question is, which is which? Is this the original canal, or is that the canal? Is that the Topahawkin Creek, its original course, or is it right here? So this one over here is the original course of the Topahawkin Creek, the one on this side, the one on the south side. This would be the towpath trail right here, and up here is the canal. Because the canal, for the most part, has been on the north side of the Topahawkin Creek, except way back near Redding there's a section that was on the south side, but then it crossed that mule bridge. If you remember that mule bridge near Lock 52, it crossed over to the north side. So this is the canal. That's what's left of the Topahawkin Creek over there, and here's the towpath trail. Same with over here. Yeah, so the same with the other side of the road here. Once again, this would be the canal going up through here. See a little bit of it. And then over here would be the towpath trail. Kind of see some raised elements going up through there. Looks like some interesting things up there too, but anyway. And here's the Topahawkin Creek itself. But then at some point back that way, towards the Topahawkin Manor, the canal does swing back to the south side of the Topahawkin Creek itself. The Topahawkin Creek kind of takes a swing northward and gets smaller and smaller and wasn't really advantageous for the canal to follow it anymore. But that's back that way. All right, so I don't have permission to be on that section over there. So I think we're gonna walk back along the towpath trail here. I didn't realize there was a trail here. Maybe we'll see where these two come together over here, and then we'll go see if we can get a glimpse of lock number 6, which is along Ramona Road. I forget what this road right here is called. If I remember, I'll put it here below. But let's go for a walk down this trail. All right, so we're back to walking on the old towpath trail with 2 bodies of water on either side of us. We haven't been doing that for a while. Anyway, I kind of left off talking about the whole George Washington thing. So I know in the past you could get tours at that place, but I'm not sure what's going on these days. It'd be cool to, like I said, get a look, but they didn't respond to me. It's a bit disappointing, but like I said, that's life sometimes. Oh, this is a disc golf course here. Right here, Jackson Park disc golf course. So you gotta go all the way over the creek. They don't really have... It's kind of odd. There's no like bridge for you to get across the creek or anything. Guess you gotta walk across the log there if you're playing this game. This pad is just where you start. Alright, so I had to correct myself here about what I said back up there earlier about which was the Topahawkin Creek and which was the canal. I had that backwards, unfortunately. It does get a little confusing here, which one's which, but it's figured out now. So we were just way up there where those 2 waterways were side by side, but getting up this way they kind of split off. They were going side by side, but then one went this way and one kind of went off way off this way, follows this wood line right here. This bridge right here, and this is the Topahawkin Creek right here. So the Topahawkin Creek was on the north side, and right there it is. And another good indicator of which is which. So that's the Topahawkin Creek flows along that wood line back to where we were, where they were flowing side by side. Then the other waterway kept going straight, nice and straight, and then right up there is lock number 7. So that is the canal. I kind of had it backwards by the road. But that's how it is, folks. You live and learn, or you explore and learn. So, there you go. Yeah, it was kind of, when I was up by the road, it was kind of confusing at first. I saw the 2 waterways. Then just probably, oh man, I wish I could explore that land over there to see where they kind of join together again. Or if they do at some point up there. Alright, but yeah, we can't do it though. Alright. Let's head over to Ramona Road and see if we can get a look at anything pertaining to lock number 6. Alright, but before I head over there, I'm going to take a quick look up this way, back east here, to see if these 2 waterways join up again, the creek and the canal. Because I know mentioned at the beginning of the video how a lot of times the Topahawkin Creek waters are flowing through the old canal bed. I mean, in this case they are, too. It's kind of split. There's water flowing through the canal bed. There's still water flowing through the original creek too. So I'm going to take a look up this way, see if we can see if they join up here. All right, so here's lock number 7 again with our canal. And last time I was talking with you, I was just over there, by that bridge over there. So right there, that's the Topahawkin Creek along that tree line. And here the canal goes this way. So they were kind of spread out. Now they're coming, looks like they're going to come together up here. So let's walk up, because right down there should be the creek. Right here's the canal. So let's walk up ahead a little bit, see if they join up together up there. Yeah, that's exactly what happens right in there. Right there's our canal, and the creek joins right there. Right there they come together. Because the creek flows right through up there, and here's our canal. And actually, this is a good spot to show you too why the locks were built. You remember that they're lift locks. They were designed to raise the canal boats up when there's an elevation change. So you can't really follow the creek itself, because when there's an elevation change in a creek or river, there's rapids and stones and waterfalls and stuff. You need a canal to be nice and level And so you needed these lift locks to raise the level of the canal for the boats. This is a good place to show that, actually. Let me show you. Alright, so when we were way up where that road was earlier, and the two waterways are flowing side by side, they were at the same height level. But now they're not. The canal level is here, but the creek, there's a hill there. The creek is down at the bottom of that hill. That's also why there's a waterfall here. So there's an elevation difference between the level of the canal and where the actual creek, the water source is. It's down there. So where this dam is today, there would have originally been wooden doors that opened in and closed. Same with up here, that with another set of doors up here. So as a canal boat, in order to make that elevation change, the doors on this end would be open. They'd open inwards, and then the canal boat would come in right here. Those doors would close, all right? And then they had a way of, they wouldn't just open these doors over here and let the water out all at once. That would be kind of disastrous. But they had a way of letting the water out slowly out this way, and then the water in the canal would lower to the level of the water out there. And once it was at the same level as the water out there, these doors would open, allowing the canal boat to go out this way. And it would work the opposite way too. If there's a boat coming from this way, it would come into here, the level's low, those doors would close, and then up here, they had a way of, once again, letting the water in, usually down below somewhere, and the water level would raise up, and then these doors would open, allowing the canal to go the canal boat to go that way. So that's a good example of how they handled those elevation changes. Alright, so there you go. I wasn't expecting to go through all that again in this video, but it's just a really good example. You see the height difference between where the canal is and where the actual creek is. Alright, so past this point, then the canal and the Topahawkin share the same path. It wasn't always that way in the past, but nowadays it is sometimes, just due to changes, either natural or man-made. Alright, now let's go see if we can see anything of lock number 6. Okay, so we're here at Ramona Road right now. Just up there is Route 422, and they have a really nice large pull-off right here in this section. But looking down here is the Topahawkin Creek and the canal once again. Of course, we were just up there somewhere, because it would have been cool to see where they come back together through here somewhere. And you hear the train, and then back over this way, there's a really old house right there. I think that's been around for quite some time. I think I was around when they made the canal through here. Up this way, somewhere is lock number 6. You know what? I think we can kind of see it through the... Okay, so I'm going to try and zoom in for you a little bit through there. I think you can kind of see the walls of it there? At least partially of it. I'm thinking that's it up there. I see like a little waterfall up in there too. Yeah, I think that's lock number 6 up that way. Alright. And at this point, some people might ask, well, why don't you just walk up along through the creek to see lock 6 like you did in some of the other videos? There's different reasons. When I did locks 8 and 9, I did have permission to be on that property. But as the creek it gets smaller, the rules regarding that get a little bit different too. I'm not going to get into all that in this video. But part of the problem too is that just over there where lock 6 is, I'm going to be literally in people's backyard. It's not just about not having permission beyond the property, you're kind of invading people's privacy back that way too. So that's another reason why I'm not going to do it in this video. But apparently, I also read that there is a tunnel along the canal here somewhere too. I forget if it's, there's a house up this way too, but I forget if it's this house or the other one. There's a tunnel that parallels the canal for a little bit. It would have been cool to have been able to see that too, but yeah, once again, you can get a glimpse of lock 6 up there, but that's it for this video. Yep, up there she is. But at least we caught a glimpse of it. Now, second thought, I think that is the only house here. I don't think there is a house over there. I just see fields over there. So the tunnel would be right by this house right up here. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to head over to where the Topahawkin Manor is, where George Washington stayed. Obviously, I don't have permission to beyond the property and look around, unfortunately, but we will park along the highway to get a look. But that is a pretty busy highway. It's Route 422 up there, so we won't be there too long because it's going to be pretty noisy. But it's going to be pretty noisy, but we'll at least get a look at the place. Yeah, so up there is the Topahawkin Manor, and back behind there somewhere would be locks 5 and 4 back there somewhere. I think lock number 3 is actually up back that way somewhere. I'll zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so in that building somewhere is where George Washington stayed. Several times, I believe. Yeah, beautiful piece of property. Dating back to the 1700s, mid-1700s, I think. Okay, so you got a glimpse of the Topahawkin Manor, and that's all you're gonna get for now. I mean, blessed by some miracle that they get back to me, I guess. But I drive by that place a lot. It looks really cool. It'd be awesome to get like a walk around, but oh well. Let me show you this book. This is called The Two Canals of Lebanon County. Let me give you a closer look at it. Yeah, if you're interested in the history of the Union Canal, you might want to consider getting this book. It's all available from the Lebanon County Historical Society, but it deals mostly with Lebanon County, but it does have some other history in it from the beginning days of the canal. You know, before it was the Union Canal, like I mentioned earlier in this video, when it was the Susquehanna and Schuylkill Canal. It does have a few pictures in here. There's a picture on the back. Well, that's in Lebanon though. We'll be getting there in a bit. Some upcoming episodes. But yeah, it's got some different information in here. There's the Union Canal Tunnel, which we'll get to in a bit as well. But yeah, something you might want to consider getting if this kind of stuff interests you. But as mentioned, that is it for the Topahawkin Creek. Topahawkin Creek doesn't end where we were. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller, but that's where the Union Canal roughly leaves it at that point. It does continue, they do continue on just a little bit, but we can't really explore that area. Just past where we were, where the Topahawkin Manor is, just a bit further west, is a huge quarry system. Pennsy Supply owns that, so the whole area's been dug out, huge quarry. There's absolutely nothing left. That's where locks 3, 2, and 1 roughly work. We'll try to get as close to those as we can in the next video. But yeah, but things are going to change. We're heading towards Lebanon to be the biggest, should be the biggest city that we go through, the biggest town that we go through. There's not much left through Lebanon, but we'll see what we can see. I think there's a section near Walmart, which I think is part of the canal. I'm not sure yet, but it'll be a little bit different than where we've been. Mostly we've been in the countryside, except for the Myerstown where I am right now. But it's going to change a little bit. But it's always cool too to see how, you know, this journey changes as well as we go through different areas. And then once we get through Lebanon, though, is the tunnel. You saw a picture of it in there. That tunnel is pretty awesome. So that's in the upcoming episodes, what you could expect coming up. All right, so that'll be it for this video as well then. As always, thanks for coming along, and hopefully we'll see you on the next leg of the journey. All right,